don't vote on it. I don't know none of that.
Yeah.
So put you in the academy.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, but
But
shout out to so
yeah.
Beyonce wins best country album. I immediately text you and I said this. Well, I didn't tell you. I wanted to wait. This is her Denzel Washington training day moment.
You text me and told me that it was
I did.
her album of the year. It was when she won album of the year.
Right. But I'm saying right.
But Beyonce also won an award in the non-televised version. She had won Best Country Duo with her and Miley Cyrus for Two Most Wanted. So she got 3 awards that night, and I think she had like 5 or 6.
I ain't mad at it. Look, I ain't mad at it. But we can call a spade though too.
Okay, so here's the reason that category was tough, but I think they gave it to her because of how, honestly, how impactful it was.
Was that Renaissance album? I feel was more impactful though, Dom.
It was, but I think think about it like this. Think about how she was shut out from like all the country awards, and you had country artists even like.
That's why I'm cool with it. That's why I'm cool.
So you had country artists even fucking with it, but then you still had a lot of backlash from the traditional, country, artists like Casey Musgraves was upset that she won Best Country Album, girl. And I think when you really listen to when you really get into Cowboy Carter, aka we're gonna call it Beyonce, which we think it was a title change at the very last moment.
What do you mean? What was it supposed to be?
Beyonce.
Why was it gonna be Beyonce?
Let me show you. So that's Cowboy Carter. So
is it board time?
Which it ain't in there. Which
is it whiteboard time?
Okay, so Cowboy Carter, here it is. It's next to Lemonade. So Cowboy Carter, actually, when you see that says Beyonce. All on this, it says Beyonce. Curtis and I talk about this on the episode that we did when this dropped. And so I think it was an album, it was a change at the last minute, which is how you get Cowboy Carter. Which I really wish she would have just named it Beyonce. And Beyonce
does the Beehive know what the reason was for that?
No, did
somebody do a typo at the?
No, I think okay. So also, this doesn't have all the tracks. So when it dropped to streaming and all that stuff, it didn't have all the tracks. Like the original record didn't have all the tracks, but streaming did, and they were, it was a big thing. Like, they were aware of it or whatever, and then. Yeah, I think you get your money back or you can reorder it. I ain't opening it. I'm like, it ain't got all the tracks. I might could pay me for that. But so which is kind of, I wish you would have kept it because it kind of would have played into more into historically the things that we experience as Black people.
You having your name changed.
And having your name changed because her family's that's her family name, Beyonce. Her cousin Angie is Beyonce. Tina and her uncle Skip are Beyonce. It was a typo on their birth certificates.
Really?
Yes, it's a typo. Just like Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King wasn't supposed to be Martin, he was supposed to be Michael.
Yeah.
So same thing, clerical error. And during that time, they never got it changed because they was just they just started giving, us, birth certificates. We want to, especially being in the South, you don't want to cause an uproar or nothing. So yeah, that's how that happened. So Beyonce her name is her mother's maiden name. And they just never changed it back.
Okay. Look at this.
So, Cowboy Carter kind of, when you talk about the history and all these different things, so you have her entering realms of country music that spaghetti westerns are Italian westerns. So that's how you have the song Spaghetti on here.
But it's also spaghetti westerns. For people that don't know, the movie Django is a spaghetti western movie. So that's to give you the idea of what a spaghetti western is.
Yes, thank you. But so you have her really stepping into and exploring that genre. country music is very kind of to the point, but it also paints a picture for you. So you can listen to a country song, and by listening, you probably can understand what a visual could potentially look like. I was telling him about this song with the Dixie's Chicks called "Goodbye Earl," and so hearing "Goodbye Earl" and then seeing the video and how it like just lines up, it made sense. So I think that was the thing, is just like this, she really got into it. And then kind of toward the end of the album, you get more of an experimental, country album, which would make sense how initially this was supposed to be Act 1, which would have went into Renaissance, which was supposed to be Act 2. But it was really well done. It's I can see how somebody say it's something that I won't consistently go back to. And I can see how there are people that are saying, yeah, it is. So,
So
good album.
Do we want to do the conspiracy theory this week, or should we table it to next week?
If we got time,
we don't have to do it now.
Okay, y'all, it's wild. It's wild. But look, I want to keep talking about it because we got to get to.
Yeah, we got so much of the stuff. Yeah, so
So do we stay on Beyonce? Do we go on to the next?
Yeah, we stay on Beyonce, and then we stay on Beyonce. So she wins for album of the year.
Yes,
which is I thought it was a Denzel Washington, training day situation. You was bitching last year, Beyonce. Here you go. Now you don't have to show up, because that's what we're assuming you're not going to do now, is not show up to any.
Well, I think both of them took her by storm. I think no. Because I think she probably knew that she would get one, but not at least album of the year, just because of the bullshit. But when you see her reaction to winning the best country album, I don't think she knew, because you even look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z is fucking surprised and it's like shook.
So they really only came there for the album of the year. They ain't even care about. They ain't even know about the
money. Yeah, because they just got the. She always gonna be like, because she don't want to do press. She don't want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. So I mean, she's created her safe space, which I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I mean,
she gonna do a red carpet for, and probably still won't talk. She gonna give you some photos. If it's like a movie or something like that. But anything else, nah. She's like no. But so I think she was genuinely shocked, just because of everything and what they have been saying and consistently saying, and then how even other artists have been responding. Like, you had that year where Adele won when she was pregnant with the twins. Then you had, and that was for Lemonade. Then you have Harry Styles that wins, Moby that wins. So it's like all these other albums. And this, I'm gonna say, I was shocked, just considering, like I said, the Chapel Roan conversation. I didn't even know Taylor Swift was nominated, to be quite honest. I didn't know she dropped an album, and I didn't know, and I knew that Ariana Grande had dropped an album because I listened to it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of like,
I didn't even know she dropped nothing for real. Like, that was one went over my head.
But yeah, I think she was shocked, and I think ultimately, I could see how everybody's like, well, after what Jay-Z said and what everybody else was saying last year, of course they gave it to her or whatever. But I feel like this was kind of, more impactful history-wise, because we know how country music really originated with us. You having even rock and roll, which is the projected to be the third act. Big Mama Thornton, and you got all these other people that really shaped and paved the way for country music, for them just to be erased. And without history, I'm like, history can't exist without Black history, because we did all of that shit. And until the others can accept that, it's always gonna be this. Like, just accept the history. This erasure that y'all trying to do is wild. It's just like, and somebody made a good point. It's an interesting point. This girl said, Slavery is white history. I will not be explaining any further. And when you think about it, I'm like, I mean, y'all did do that. We rose above it and we're resilient and able to, move forward, and we still standing.
You make a good point. You make a good point.
Hey y'all, if y'all like what y'all see here on Everyone Needs an Aquarius, be sure to like, subscribe, and share our podcast with your friends because we got all the tea. And if you want to check out more stuff from us, be sure to hit that button right there on the right side so you can see other stuff and again share with everybody.